Stemus familia cadamusque semus. Il esperandum potes fortuna ilvar. Stemus familia cadamusque semus. Il esperandum potes fortuna ilvar.
MOs and suddenly become a jet engine.
It does it. It does it whenever I bring up video on anything, really, on Discord, on Microsoft Teams.
But it's your main fan. It's not like you're the fan on your video encoder or anything like that, not on your GPU.
No. Yeah, that's a separate fan, and I can tell because when I'm like encoding something in Premiere, that fan will come up, and that's much quieter. But for some reason, when I bring up video on anything, the main fan stands up.
Also realized during the loading screen that I am randomly dressed like my dancing avatar today. Not that it's hard. I own a lot of white t-shirts and v-necks that have nothing on them.
Yeah, I'm dressed for work because I had a Zoom call today.
I got pizza today, so, you know. My day was probably a lot better.
Nice.
Can you
I had a tuna
believe
fish.
my local pizzeria was trying to only charge me $10 for the pizza and drinks that I had with me and my family? I wouldn't stand for that. I'm like, yo, we've known each other for too long. I know I'm a regular, and you felt you were late with a pizza, and that's why you're only trying to charge me $10. But I'm gonna force you to take this $5 tip at the very least. I mean, there was 3 of us. I can't let that fly.
Well, I am a big fan of over tipping.
Yeah. Oh, one of the dudes that's always, we mess with each other, he even put his hand right over the tip jar. He's like, no, I'm not going to let you. No, like, shove it in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't always, but, you know, occasionally for either delivery people or, you know, waiters, or actually almost always for, like, bartenders.
Yeah.
You know, anywhere from 50 to 100%.
Well, especially with how long I've known these people, too. It's a local pizzeria. I've known these people, I don't know, probably since I was 8, right? So, a couple decades now. I can actually say that I've been going to that place for a couple decades. And their pizza's great. Authentic New York, like Brooklyn-style pizza. They were from the area themselves before their family moved down here. They've kept the practices. It's probably one of the best pies you're going to get in all of the DFW area. It's as good as you would get up in New York. Better than some places too, because a lot of them have gotten lazy and they don't keep to the same practices they used to. And I'm like, your stuff's too good. I gotta pay you more. You can't let me off that easy, man.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was good.
So we're here.
And then yeah. Well, and then I had to go drop my brother off at the train station. He's going to go live up with my grandfather for a couple months up in Illinois. So instead of letting us drop him off, which thank God, because I already made that trip like not too long ago, he's just going to take a train up there. My mom almost got mugged by a homeless person while we were there. That was pretty exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah,
she tells me to go take my brother in, right, to the station. And it's Union Station here in Dallas. It's right underneath Reunion Tower, right? Which is near the grassy knoll. Like, people at least know where the grassy knoll is if they're not familiar with Dallas. And
near the book depository.
Yeah, and the old courthouse and the Dallas Morning Newspaper. And that's actually where we parked, was right in front of the Dallas Morning Newspaper, because that was the only open parking spot. And she's like, go help your brother. Make sure that he's fine. And he gets his ticket sorted out. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to be out here by yourself? He's like, I'll be fine. One of us was acutely aware of the part of town we were in, where there's an entire tent city under the bridge right next to the parking lot that she decided to park in.
Yeah, we went back when I lived in Arizona. We have a friend who lives in Orange County, California.
Oh.
And we went to visit him one time, and that whole area is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And Peach actually had her purse stolen. Like, just actually, I wasn't there at the time, but she like turned around to get something out of a vending machine or something for like 10 seconds. Turned back and it was gone.
Yeah.
With lots of actual cash in there, unfortunately.
I swear, man. Why do these places have to be so bad? This is why you can't live in cities.
That's right.
Cities are awful.
Well, I don't understand why, and I've never been there, but I don't understand why Disneyland is in that area that it's in. It's horrible.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with Walt being like, autistic or whatever, because Orlando is in Orange County, Florida, which is where Disney World is, and Disneyland is in Orange County, California. It almost seems like there's this like autistic making them match.
I think it had to do with just cheap land. I think they were just like, where's the cheapest, crappiest land we can find? Because in
Well,
Florida,
I know in Florida it's the cheapest crappiest land. They built it right on a swamp. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in well, I don't know what it was like when they first built it, but in Orange County, California now, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's cheap now at least.
I gotta go fix our schedule while we're talking. I never bothered to do that. So on the screen, it still shows the old schedule.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made the mistake of actually volunteering to appear on John Dillard's channel. With,
Yeah, that's always a mistake.
Judge Coon right before this. So
I'm kidding. I love going on a show, but time-wise, it's
Yeah.
not a smart idea. Because I always assume that
Well, I
no
told it-
show of his is ever going to last less than an hour.
Oh, okay. But I told him up front. I've got a thing at 8.
Yeah. Let me get this.
Oh.
And today we're going to be talking about something really exciting.
Oh,
Yeah. What's the scariest thing you can think of facing in real life? Just like that you could just run into.
any spider in Australia? I don't know.
Any spider? Yeah, those are pretty scary. How about bears? Do bears scare you? I mean, like if you were to face down a bear.
No, probably because I never have. It doesn't scare
Does
me
it
theoretically.
register?
It doesn't register. Yeah, because I think of them as big, cuddly, and everything. I know they're scary and deadly, and they easily kill you with like one swipe. But it doesn't by default scare me.
Yeah.
But
Hello,
sure,
Dillard.
yes. For argument's sake, yes. Let's say that is the scariest thing I can imagine. Hey, John.
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
We were just talking. What's the scariest thing that you could possibly end up encountering in person in real life?
Oh, Jesus. Give me a second to think about that. I don't know. There's too many scary things.
I mean,
Does it
how
have to
about
be-
a bear?
I don't know. I think probably maybe some sort of a hospital bill that ruins you financially for the rest of your life.
Because bears are only getting scarier.
In what way?
Thanks to the changing climate and the warming of the ice caps, polar bears are migrating south. Don't know why. They just are. I guess because there's more land. They're more adaptive to the heat than they are to being in the water.
If the ice caps are melting, wouldn't they go further north?
Well, there's no place for them to stand on. There's no land up there, unlike Antarctica, which is actually land covered in ice. But at the very north, it's all just ice up there. So if it's melting,
well,
there's
then
nowhere
why-
to stand.
And why is it confusing why they're going south?
Well, I was saying they're probably just more resistant to living in hotter weather than they are to just swimming in the ocean.
I mean, we got a polar bear exhibit here
Yeah.
at the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
But so the scary thing is these polar bears that are migrating south are now crossbreeding with grizzly bears.
Right, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Are they even the same species?
Yeah, they're close enough. Speciation is such a weird topic because biologically speaking, there isn't actually a clear line between a breed and a species because it means so many different things across so many different families, right? Typically what we think of is when something is specialized is when breeds become so distinct that they can no longer breed with each other. They can't create a subspecies or an heir that can reproduce itself. They become sterile. Kind of like with when a lion and a tiger mate together.
Can they do that?
Yeah, lions and tigers can breed together. It's just their
Or a
heirs do
horse and a
not.
donkey.
Yeah, horse or a
Right.
donkey, that too. They just can't breed themselves. Like you can't get the crossbreed between the two with another one. they'll have an infertile pairing.
Child.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, the children are already infertile. Those two can't breed
Right.
themselves. Yeah. With very rare cases, so with like mules, right? When you get like the horse and the donkey together, the horse side seems to still be fine. So if you were to take that crossbreed and breed it with a horse, you'll end up with another horse child. Like those genes will still splice together. It's like, it's really weird which things will connect and which ones won't.
Well, I've been told by good sources that a pig and an elephant just won't splice.
That is very true. But apparently, we're not sure. They haven't been around long enough to know if these can actually breed, if they're fertile or not. But we're seeing full-grown, what they're calling, and I hate this name, Grizzly Bears. That's the actual name that most outlets are going with. Why not
Who
Roller
the hell
Bear?
named it a Grizzly Bear? Rebellious?
I don't know. That's like the weakest, worst name you could possibly call a dangerous predator.
Why don't you just call it a murder bear?
Yeah. This is even better than Roller Bear. Yeah, Murder Bear is just fine, because this is like the biggest murder machine on the planet.
Ali.
That sounds scary.
It should sound scary. It's a goddamn polar bear mixed with a grizzly bear. You don't call it a grizzly bear. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a stupid name.
Well, aren't polar bears bigger and more deadly than a grizzly bear?
No. They're bigger, but not more deadly.
Oh yeah, grizzly bear is way more deadly than a polar bear. But now we're making a grizzly bear that might inherit the size of a polar bear for all we know, which would probably make them even deadlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we know about this from past experience? Is a liger the best of both worlds?
Well, there's two different things. There's the liger and the tigon. It depends who the mother and who the father is. And one of them can get way bigger than the other.
Oh, are they better predators?
I believe the liger, actually, they tend to just get fat. They're actually really bad at predators. But the tigon, the one with the tiger's the mother, right? Actually are at least as good as tigers when it comes to killing.
Now, what about their size?
Yeah.
Are they bigger?
I actually forget which one's the bigger one. I'd have to look that up real quick.
Rick has a better name for it, a bipolar grizzly bear.
A bipolar grizzly bear? Alright. Okay, let's see. The liger tends to weigh around 900 pounds, while the tigon tends to weigh like 450. So the liger's bigger, but the tigon tends to be actually better at killing things.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
But again,
there is
the
nothing to
liger
worry
takes
about.
after the lion, so that's why it gets bigger.
I thought tigers are much bigger than lions.
It depends. I don't think the biggest tiger is the one that lives up in Siberia, right? And those ones have never bred with a lion, as far as I know. And these are African lions that the liger's always been made with. So I don't know if you can possibly get it bigger, but typically they breed with smaller tigers.
I thought the African lions were the only lions that were left. Weren't like the European lions extinct already?
You get some smaller range lions, like they're technically mountain lions, but they're bigger than the cougar you're used to in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
The same where you get tigers. They don't have manes though. They look like mountain lions. They're just like really big mountain lions. They're technically.
Well,
so, yeah.
I don't know much about animals. I have only a basic knowledge of animals.
Yeah, if we're talking about the tiger with the mane, yeah, the African lion's the only one that still has that's around.
Okay. So this phenomenon of these polar bears and grizzly bears, has there been a recorded instance already?
Yeah. I mean, they've actually they have some.
Is there a photograph that we could look at?
Yeah, I could pull up a photograph. If you're in the Discord, go to the Civ chat, and there's actually an article on it with a photo right there in the preview. But I could pull it up so everybody watching can see it too.
Oh, this looks like a bear with mange.
Yeah, it's because the lighter fur's kind of getting mixed in there.
Looks like it has stripes. That's
Let
weird.
me turn this on so they could see. Yeah, well, because that's just how fur patterns typically end up going. Oh my god, why is it so big on the screen? There we go. I want them to be able to see. There we go. And, yeah, so it's striped because that's just the way hair tends to go. There's a lot of genes involved with hair color, which is why you can end up seeing even humans like some people have multicolored hair, natural highlights. It's usually a tight range, like dirty blonde. It's like brunette with natural blonde highlights mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just right now the way the fur is affecting them.
And is this a juvenile? Is this an adult?
Yes. As far as I can tell, this is with the equivalent of a teenager. So on the verge of adulthood.
So is it looking like what are this? I want to say specifications. What are his specs? Is he more along the lines of a grizzly, or more along the lines size-wise and demeanor?
It's more along the lines of a polar bear in size.
Oh, so that is a bad thing.
Yeah.
What are the specs?
Yeah.
I don't know. What else would you call it?
No, he's right. Yeah, he's kind of got like the general face shape of a polar bear because it's narrower, but it's got like that the tufting the grizzly bear has on the back of the head that kind of pulls out instead of being because a polar bear, it's almost completely narrowed. They have like short fur all over.
Yeah, marsupial.
I think it looks cute.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Now I'm like, that's why I was asking whether or not this is dangerous, because it looks like its name would be a Grizzly Bear.
It's just adorable. Just want to go up and hug it.
It'll just like kill you in one bop too. Oh man, that was a frightening creature. It's cute
I'm all
looking, but it's
for
frightening.
the creation of frightening creatures.
Yeah.
But this doesn't look too frightening.
I mean, it looks because it's a bear, and I know what bears can do. So my brain is coated with bear scary.
And we're
Yeah, I see.
not live anymore.
It was a hiccup. It only lasted like a second. We're probably still connected. It's just going to buffer for them. But yeah, it's
Cool.
I don't know. Nature's hybrids seem a lot cooler than ours because this is something that's happening naturally. It's not like when we make a liger or something and you kind of force them together to where they're the only breeding options, or how right now they're trying to make a human chimpanzee hybrid. Have you seen that in the news? There's a successful embryo of a human and a chimpanzee.
Who authorized that? Whose idea was that?
I have no clue. But it just proves that on a long enough timeline, Alex Jones is always right.
Who authorized human inbreeding with a goddamn chimpanzee?
Well, they claim that it's going to lead to more ways of basically cloning organs, like for organ transplants. Because what they're making isn't technically human. But we don't know what the cognitive functioning of this thing is going to be if it ever actually comes to term. It could basically be a human. Chimps are pretty smart already.
This is how we end up with COVID.
This is how we end up with Planet of the Apes.
This is how you end up with a world war.
Yeah. With that chimpanzee
hell?
army.
Well, I gotta look this up. Where can I find this
It's
shit?
totally new information to Dillard. I mean, it's new information to me, but I'm not quite as freaked out. A Pizzly army.
Yeah. An army of Grizzly Bears with chimpanzee human hybrids riding on top of them with mounted machine guns.
This sounds like a good comic book idea.
Yeah. This is the future. Not the one we asked for, but the one we're getting.
Humanpanzees on top of Grizzly Bears.
Calling it a Humanzee.
Humanzee.
You were pretty close with that, Marsupial.
There you
A Humanzee.
go.
They ask, has science gone too far? This time they might actually have.
Yes, absolutely. What do you mean may have?
Well, not just this too, right? They're making these naturally born hybrids now. But they're also, you ever see that episode of South Park with the dolphin plasty? Where they're doing all these like elective surgeries on people to make them look more like animals and stuff?
Yeah.
That's becoming a real thing too now.
Oh, we've already had
the
that
furries
one.
are finally getting what they want.
But are they getting prehensile tails? That's the question.
Maybe. Who knows?
I wouldn't even know what muscle to flex.
Your
That
rectum?
tail.
I don't know. Sphincter flexes? Just
I'm not finding any information on this human chimpanzee hybrid.
here, let me find it for you.
Please.
I saw it like several times earlier this week.
Here, I was going to talk about Microsoft's Xcloud gaming service.
Oh, well, I got is way more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Humanzee, Jesus Christ. Even if it's invented in a lab, it's laboratory zoophilia.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of Jesus Christ, I should come down and kill all these people.
There we go, from the Independent, which is a mostly reputable source. It's about as good as any mainstream media can be, so it's not like I'm pulling this from a
So
tabloid or
completely
something.
fake news is what you're saying?
Yeah. And this was made in China originally.
Goddamn Chinese.
But the one that we're getting now is not Chinese. It's just the they had several failed attempts in China back in 2019. It takes a lot of effort to make these embryos stick, you know.
Mhm.
I'm not seeing a picture come up on YouTube.
Oh, they don't have a picture of it. It's literally just an embryo at this point. I guess I could maybe find an ultrasound. That's the best we're going to get, but I don't know if that picture is widely available.
I want to see an artist rendering.
An artist rendering of a Humanzee.
Bet you would, you pervert.
Yeah.
Boy, when you look up Humanzee on Google, it comes up with primate.
No, it doesn't.
Rank hybrid.
Says the Humanzee is a hypothetical hybrid of chimpanzee and human. Serious attempts to create such a hybrid have been made. The portmanteau word Humanzee for human chimpanzee hybrid appears to have entered usage in the 1980s.
Yep. And we've been getting.
And even
reports about it.
this is like a suggested, like even remember when the Koi Wolf was making news?
Yeah.
These roving bands of coyote strength, dogs that with the, they had the strength of a wolf, but the pack-like and vicious mentality of coyotes.
Coyotes.
They're
are
roving
very
across the middle of the United States, just murdering wholesale.
I kind of would want a pack of those, to be honest.
Love. Have you seen those pictures on the internet of those African dudes when they're hyena pets?
Yes.
damn, those things look murderous.
Oh, yeah,
Evil,
they've
like
got,
from the depths, like straight out of like some sort of a, Dante hell fucking monster. They're enormous.
Yeah, they have like some of the strongest jaw strength out of any creature still alive on the planet too. They could just break bones right in their jaws.
Here,
Stronger
I have
jaw strength than Rosie O'Donnell.
an artist rendering of a Chimpanzee.
Oh, do you? Let me see this.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Marsupial, that's crazy racist.
What? What do you? I didn't do it.
Sure.
Oh god.
My goal is to get us kicked off of every streaming service.
That was my goal too. But I want it to be for legitimate reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
You imagine that riding a Grizzly Bear?
Sadly, yes, I could. I mean, to be fair, this is basically just like Janet from Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem riding on top of Fozzie Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure there's probably fan art, but not in the way you think. You'd have to be taking the words in a different way.
I don't know. Now I'm rethinking my relationship with Marsupial.
I kind of want a Grizzly Bear now, though. I don't know what I would do with it. I wouldn't want to be close to it myself. I'd have to keep it like in an enclosure or something, and I just don't have an enclosure, but it's kind of cool.
You want to also be like a responsible pet owner? No.
No, I don't want to be
like-
responsible. I just want to stop it from being able to maul me.
You can buy bears in Mexico.
Ooh. How
And
much?
wolves. $800 for a cub.
That's not bad.
Not, right?
Do you know ferrets are illegal to own in California?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that, or is it because California's just ran by a bunch of hippies and you can't own animals?
It's because they're wrongly concerned about domesticated ferrets getting out and becoming invasive species.
See, I'm more concerned of domesticated housewives getting out and becoming invasive species.
That's right. They're wrong though, because domesticated ferrets they are different from wild ferrets. So they're just uninformed. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
just don't
We had
wanna-
ferrets over here. Not me. One of the people I used to house sit for a lot, they had like 2 ferrets. They basically had a zoo. I was watching like 20 animals at any point in time, which is why they would pay me like hundreds of dollars to house sit for them when they went on cruises. They also had sugar gliders. You ever see those?
No.
The adorable little squirrels?
Yeah. Well, they're technically not squirrels, but yeah, they're the tiny little things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forget what they actually fall under. But they're cool. They like crawl on your hands and stuff and all kinds.
I
of
have
things.
ferrets. They're just in Arizona right now, so I miss them. Their names are Fido and Baby.
Evie.
Oh, you would like sugar gliders. They're marsupials.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, they're in the same order as koalas and kangaroos.
Well, koalas are my mortal enemy, but
Mm.
kangaroos are okay. Are you bringing up a picture of them, or
Oh yeah, if you want, I can. Yeah.
this is a multimedia show here?
Here, let me pull up a picture. They're really cool. They are very, very squirrel-like. They're really tiny. I'll pull up a picture of them on like somebody's hand. If I can get it into its own tab real quick.
Oh, we have a question from the chat. Flit Amaranth says, when will Pizzly Bear join the Cross Comics universe?
That's a good question.
Definitely. Excellent question.
Okay,
And
you should
will
be
the
able
buck-
to see it right now.
The Buckler should fight a Pizzly Bear.
That is a sugar glider. Like I said, it's kind of squirrel-like, but you can see its appendages, and you could easily see how it could also be a marsupial. It's got like the webbed lining between the arms because they're like flying squirrels. They glide from place to place.
It looks like a possum.
A little, yeah.
I mean, it looks like an Australian possum. Have you ever seen those? They're very furry and they look like that.
Well, I would assume that these are Australian just from much of the habitat information about them.
Yeah. I bet they're related because possi are also marsupials.
And they carry their young around. Their babies are so tiny, like even after they're born, because their babies can basically fit in their hands. So you can have like a whole bunch of them just in your palm. What are you saying?
Is that an adult?
Yes, that is an adult sugar glider.
Tiny.
Yeah, they are tiny. Like I said, I've had them crawl all over me. They had like 6 of them at one point in time in a big cage.
Swarms and swarms of sugar gliders.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
They're fun little pets. They need a lot of attention though. And they poop a lot.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Well, if you get a lot of them, they occupy each other. It's not like they need a lot of attention for maintenance, except for maybe cleaning their poop. If you've got a room that you can keep them in that you don't have to go in a lot, it doesn't matter too much. But it does start to smell after a bit. But they're mammalian and they need compatriotism with people or each other. They need friends. They need play.
That's why we got the second ferret.
Mm-hmm. Marsupial with the casual speciesism.
That's right.
Are you specious?
I'm unabashedly speciesist.
Yeah. But I like sugar gliders. They're cool.
Damn cool I was.
And they bite you and you barely even notice. It feels like they're tickling you. Because their teeth are like hamster teeth. They just kind of like... They'll pick up wood and stuff and they'll just grind away at it. But it's really hard for them to actually do damage to human flesh. Say with their tiny little claws. They just kind of like crawl all over you like you're a tree or something.
It's fascinating. John, would you like to have a swarm of sugar gliders crawling all over you?
No. They look like their nails are very sharp.
Yeah, they do.
They don't hurt.
Well, then I guess maybe. I like animals. I like enjoying, animal as much as the next person.
I'll tell you, it does hurt. Those people had a goddamn parakeet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those things are assholes.
Yeah, I've had a parakeet.
Because they're smart. That's the problem, right? And they don't like it when you leave them alone for too long. They remember things. They know who pisses them off and who doesn't. That parakeet hated seeing me. It would throw a fit. Because he knew when I was showing up, that means that his people were going to leave and he'd be stuck alone with me. And I would let him out to roam like they did, but one time I left my laptop face open when I let him out, and he went and he yanked like 6 of the keys off. All but one of them I was able to put back in. It's like, okay, well, I'm not letting you out anymore. You ruined your privileges. And he bit me as I put him back into the cage, too. I fucking hated Bobo.
I mean, I agree. Any animal that presents itself as needing more than even the most basic things to stay alive, it's annoying. Dogs are great because you give them like some food and they're fine. They're good.
That's why I like cats. Because dogs, on average, need a lot more attention. Cats they'll tell you to piss off most of the time.
Dogs need more attention, but you can always just chain them up outside. Saying.
I just doxed that parrot because I said his name. Pretty sure that that bird is dead anyway, so I'm doxing a dead bird.
You can dox dead animals.
Yeah. I think most birds are assholes. Except for ravens. Ravens are cool.
They're just born superior.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody talks about how, like, things in the parrot family are smart. But they're actually all kind of really stupid compared to the crow family when you actually compare their levels of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
The parrots, it's because they can mimic human sounds. Well, so can mockingbirds and ravens. Sometimes better. A lot of times they actually know what they're saying. Like, they recognize the patterns of what this leads to. I think I've brought this up before. You guys ever see that video? This lady, she had a pet raven, and she would take it on Sunday drives. So she would tell us, like, go for a drive, and the raven would pick up her keys and fly over to the car and wait for her. And then it would just glide along the side of the car as they went for their Sunday drive.
Sounds great. I would love to have that.
And they're very territorial, so once they get used to their area and that, like, you are part of their, like, flock, you just leave the door open. You don't have to clip their wings or anything, because parrots will fly away if you don't clip their wings. But, like, ravens, they'll just come back. They roost.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out where, like, this Grizzly Bear story is like... It's like, I think I said the first one was in 2006. Like, why is it just now coming back up?
I don't know. Maybe because enough time has passed that there's more adults.
And here's a story from 2019, so it's like, I don't know. I'm calling BS on the climate change theory. It may be because humans have invaded their territory and pushed the grizzly bears in one direction and pushed the polar bears in another. But
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't have a lot of hard science on why these things are migrating. I don't think these people have a lot of hard science on it either.
I think they're just guessing.
I mean, it's not a bad guess. I mean, despite what people's opinions are on climate change, there are definitely certain areas where there are no longer ice shelves where there were. Of course, we've also seen some areas where there were ice shelves that are there that weren't there previously, so somebody's guess is as good as anybody else's.
Flit says that ravens have the equivalent intelligence of a 3-year-old human.
I would probably mark it closer to a 4-year-old, because 3-year-old humans on average, if we're going by the average, don't pass the mirror test. Ravens, most of the time, do. Magpies actually always pass the mirror test.
But here's the thing. Have you ever met a 3 or 4-year-old human? Because they're pretty stupid.
Yeah.
They can't even, I mean, typically they don't even have jobs and they're mooching off their parents at that point.
But a 4-year-old can usually tell it's them in the mirror.
I see. And ravens can?
Yes. As Elric asked, the mirror test is a higher order test of intelligence where you put a mirror in front of it and you see their behavior. And you can usually tell an animal, even if they can't talk to you, whether they can tell it's them in the mirror or if they think it's another of their species. If they can tell it's them, they'll act in peculiar ways, like magpies will start grooming themselves using the mirror because they recognize that it's them. While certain animals like silverback gorillas will start howling at it or start like baring their chest and stuff, and sometimes they'll even like try to outmaneuver the thing, which is doing the same thing that they are, and they'll run off and look behind the mirror and then nothing's there. As far as like primates go, silverback gorillas are actually pretty fucking stupid.
Is that like a good test though? I got a kid that's like 2 going on 3, and she knows, like, she'll go in the mirror and be like, "That's Emma," and go and like try on clothes and look at herself in the mirror.
When you say you talk about a 3-year-old, it's on average, right? It'll vary a lot with humans.
See, I like the IQ test where they're testing to see if a child understands that other people have different.
Yes, which is also usually around 4. I know which one you're talking about. And they'll what they'll do is they'll take 2 boxes. They'll label one box for one person, like Jenna, and the other box for Sarah. And Sarah will go put the cookies in her box and walk off, and then Jenna will go into Sarah's box, take the cookies out, and go put it in hers. And they'll ask the kid, when Sarah comes back, which box will she look in? And if they are at the point that they can tell that other people have different information than they will, they'll say, obviously, Sarah's going to look in her box. But if they're before that point, they'll say, well, I know that it's in Jenna's, so Sarah's going to check in Jenna's. They'll also do that with, say, gorillas and stuff. Gorillas don't pass that test, like, ever.
I'm having a hard time understanding what this test is. So somebody switches it out, and then are both of the kids, they know that somebody switched it out or no?
Well, the kid
just one of the kids
watching the test knows. Right? But the fictional characters, technically only the one who switched it out would know that it's in the new box. The one who left wouldn't. So the question is, the person who left, who originally put in her box, which box will she check when she comes back? Right? So obviously she would go and check the box that she put the cookies in, because she doesn't know they were switched yet.
Right, but you have to ask the one that does know that the cookies were switched. You have to say, when she comes back in the room, which box is she going to check for the cookies? And if she doesn't understand that they're 2 different people with 2 different brains, she's going to say, she's going to look in the box with the cookies. But if
I'm still not getting it. What the hell is wrong with my brain? Is this not being explained correctly? How many people are in this test? 3?
No, there's 1 person in the test. The other 2 are fictional characters that are part of this dramatization.
If you were to set this test up for me right here in front of me, how would it work?
Okay, you're the one taking the test. Me and Marsupial are involved as the actual fictional characters in the test.
You only need one other person.
Well, usually what they do is they involve 2 people in the fiction as the demonstration. It helps to know that they both have different minds, right?
Okay.
So, you're taking it. Me and Marsupial are the characters in the test.
I'm looking at you guys. So I'm standing there looking at a room or something? Or
yes,
what am I doing?
Yes. We're talking to each other. We each have our own storage container. I've got an RC. I'm going to go use the restroom. So before I go use the restroom, I go and put my RC in my cooler. After I leave the room, Marsupial goes into my cooler, pulls out the RC, and puts it into his cooler. When I come back into the room, which cooler would I naturally check?
Right, you would look where you left it.
Yes. So this is the discerning point. It's usually around 3.5 to 4 years old when this happens.
You just passed the test, John.
Yeah, you passed it.
Shut up, Marsupial.
But when around somewhere between 3 to 4,
so a kid wouldn't.
Has developed
a kid
enough.
would say, "Why aren't you looking in that where it is?"
Right.
Yes,
because
they haven't developed enough.
They saw me move it. Me move it. Don't understand that Metal has a different brain than I do, and so they think, "Oh, of course, Metal's going to look in my cooler."
Because when kids are really young and their brains haven't developed enough, they think everybody's knowledge of the world is their knowledge of the world, right? And this is also what makes humans different than like every other animal. Once we get to a certain point, we can start asking why, because we realize that other people have different sets of information than we do, so we can learn things from them. This is how we pass things on mimetically. At no point in time has a gorilla that we've taught sign language to ever asked a question from somebody. They've never asked why. They can relay information, they can remember information, but they don't understand that you have information they don't have.
Okay. Get it.
Yeah.
Dork says, "Yay, Dillard passed the test."
What the hell with all you guys?
Party
See, because you
popper.
even said it weird. Because you were like, "I have a storage container," and I was like, and I didn't. In my head, I wasn't thinking you have a fridge.
Yeah,
And
like
when
a
you said
cooler.
RC, you said I have a storage container and I have an RC in it. And I was like, okay, so you have a remote control car in a storage container?
Well, because I've got this RC Cola here, right? Yeah.
But I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at my
Yeah.
drawings.
Yeah. When I said cooler, it probably started making more sense. I didn't decide what type of storage container it was until I picked up my RC. And like, okay, it's a cooler.
problem-
Because that's where would you put a drink?
Problem is,
Yeah.
who in the world drinks RC Cola? Ugh. Yuck. That's the problem with this test. I just got myself this Dr. Pepper in the biggest fucking can I've ever seen.
Oh, I've had cans like that, yeah.
Here's a regular can. Like, I didn't even.
It's like
know the can.
that's like a Magnum can.
Yeah, it's like a 40.
Like a Four Loko. Are you gonna go get a Four Loko?
That's right.
Like a regular can. Then you got like a black man can there.
That's right. Dr. Pepper. Ooh.
Apparently I'm tricky.
Crazy. Rick says he drinks RC Cola, and I'm not surprised.
It's because RC Cola is cheap. I can get like a 2 liter of it for 99 cents.
It's
Well, it
true.
says Jolt Cola. Does Jolt Cola no longer exist?
I haven't seen it in like ever, so I don't know. Maybe in select places?
It says introduced in 1985. It's still around, I guess.
It has to
search
be
for
in
it.
select places then.
Yeah, where to buy? Dollar General, Casey's General Store, and Amazon.
You can get anything on Amazon, right?
Yeah. You have to go to the Dollar General, apparently.
I get a ghost gun on Amazon?
No, because then it wouldn't be a ghost gun.
Damn it.
I mean, I could probably get you a guy with some scrub cereals if you really need a ghost gun. Or I guess you could always get a 3D printer and construct one yourself. What is and isn't a ghost
No.
gun is a very...
I hear 3D
wide-
printers are expensive.
No, they are. Especially if you want a good one.
You should just go steal my
Right.
neighbor's gun.
Wants to know what you're drawing.
I'm coloring the buckler right now.
Oh, nice. Is it all? It's all digital, right?
Yeah. Why?
Oh,
I'm not gonna break out like a paintbrush and start doing this shit.
Flit has deduced that metal is Canadian.
I don't think that his...
He is
deduction
not in the
correct.
detective squad, is he?
I guess not.
No,
And
no.
Bullet has deduced that Canada is the meth.
No, I'm here in the good old land of Texas. Not originally from here, though. Although I've been here long enough that, like, nobody else would want to own me anyway. Not that I'd want to leave Texas. I was born in New Jersey, in the city of Perth Amboy.
You have a bumper sticker that says, "I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as fast as I could."
No, but for me, it would actually be true because I was still a baby when I got here.
Mm-hmm.
My parents realized New Jersey is expensive, crime-ridden, and a horrible place to raise children. So, you know, it was either going to be here or Atlanta. And thank God we didn't go to Atlanta.
Well, I hear that Marlton is nice. I've heard. I know Princeton is nice. I've been there.
I mean, there are nice places in New Jersey, especially if you go up north, but it's we were in South New Jersey in Middlesex County. Like, you could see Manhattan right across the bay from us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
My former parents-in-law live on Staten Island. I've flown in and out of Newark many, many times. And it's a shithole.
Yeah, well, New York is actually probably the biggest shithole in the whole state. Used to be Hoboken.
Or Newark.
Newark. Yeah. Hoboken actually used to be the biggest shithole, but they actually cleaned that place up.
Newark is the, isn't it like the insurance capital of the country?
Insurance scam capital of the country, I'll tell you that.
There's just like a million insurance companies.
Yeah. Well, if you want to like scam someone, everybody expects there to be an insurance company in New York. So if you want to make a scam, you just say your address is in Newark and people will believe you're a legit company. So a lot of like these insurance scams come out of there.
It's like these companies that say they're from their headquarters are in the Lakes, Nevada.
Yeah.
Which, of course, another word for the lakes is Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, who are you kidding? You're in Las Vegas.
It's like somebody, I'm going to sell you some beachfront property in Nevada. You want to buy some?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nice beaches in Alabama. You just have to go down to Mobile.
Yeah. We actually have some pretty nice beaches here in Texas, but the problem is because of the Gulf, you have to deal with jellyfish. They congregate right everywhere along our beaches.
Yeah. I used to go vacation in Rosemary Beach, Florida, which is near Destin. Lots of jellyfishes. You have to be careful. I mean, it's at certain times of the year. Like sometimes of the year there's none. But yeah, if you're not careful. But you've been to Austin, right?
Many times.
Okay. Is there a beach around Lake Travis, or it's just?
No, I don't think they've done any smoothing to make beaches. It's just just normal lakeshore.
Mm-hmm.
The lake in my area has a man-made beach at it. Joe Pool.
We used to have beaches. I lived in Milwaukee for several years, and there's nice beaches on Lake Michigan. I mean, they're man-made. They're okay.
Yeah, I mean, a man-made beach can be nice, and how much effort they put into it.
Yeah. Certain times of the year, though, it stunk like fish.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, the problem is, the beach over here at Lake Joe Pool is built specifically for a swimming area. There's like a little... It's a man-made lake to begin with. There are obviously natural lakes in Texas, but the vast majority of them are man-made for irrigation and basically natural aquifers and stuff. So it's like this little alcove that's built for swimming. And they have like buoys at the end to show you where you're not supposed to go past. People will ride their boats and everything in that area. And it's just garbage, littered with garbage. The fish stay away from the swimming area for the most part because they know that's where the people are going to be swimming. But occasionally they come in, like one or two, because they know there's food that falls into the water. And one time I just stepped right into a carcass, like a fish carcass with the skeleton pulled out. It was on my foot. It's like, And then I realized why a lot of people wear swim shoes when they go into the lake. But, I don't wear shoes in general. I ain't about that life. I'll risk the fish carcass.
We were constantly being told, don't eat the fish out of Lake Michigan because they're full of mercury.
Yeah. No, the fish here is fine.
I assume that's still the case. I used to go windsurfing on Lake Michigan, which is really easy compared to the ocean because there's no big waves. So, right, to the windsurf.
I don't think I've ever been windsurfing.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's easy. It's a lot easier than regular surfing.
I would imagine, yes. It's basically just sailing on a very small boat that you can only stand on.
Yeah, yeah. You just kind of, I mean, as long as it's, windy but not too windy, you just stand up there, hold the thing, and it's like the easiest thing in the world.
I have gone water skiing before.
I could never water ski. I've never been able to water ski. Like I just can't do it. I can't keep my feet under me.
I preferred wakeboarding, but I could do either.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've always had a tough time water skiing.
My mom was freaking out too because I did it really young, and it was like, you can't even swim. I don't care if throw a life jacket on me. I'll manage.
Yeah, what do you need to? You wear a life jacket. Doesn't matter if you can swim or not.
Yeah, I'll just slowly paddle myself back to shore if I wipe out. It's fine.
Yeah. Can you swim now?
Yeah. Not very well. Like, I'm not like an Olympic swimmer or anything, but I could swim well enough to save my life if I needed to. I was never taught, though. One day I just got, like, upset that I couldn't swim, and it was the same people. I was watching their house. They had, like, a above-ground pool that was, like, 30 feet in, like, diameter, and I was like, fuck it. I'm here. There's nobody else around. It's Texas, but it's night, so it's cool. I'm just going to go in this fucking pool until I know how to swim. And I spent like 6 hours in that pool. But by the time I was done, I was pretty confident with my swimming ability for actually saving my life, though. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to learn when you're an adult, though, because you've seen people swim and you kind of know what you're supposed to do. You just got to figure out, like, with your own muscles, what it takes to do what you've seen.
Yeah. I taught my kids how to swim.
My dad tried, but his idea was, I'm just going to throw you into the water. Which worked for my brother Matt because I think I've explained this too. Humans are just about as buoyant as water, but some tend to be a little less or a little more buoyant. My brother was slightly more buoyant than water, so it was easy for him to learn how to swim that way.
Yeah.
I, like my dad, which I don't know why he didn't consider this, am slightly less buoyant than water.
Well,
And I started to sink immediately. No matter what, because if you're just going wild, you're not going to float if you're less buoyant than water. You're just going straight down. You have to be methodical if you're going to stay afloat.
Yeah, well, I learned at a young age that if you just fill your lungs with air, you'll float.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do when somebody just takes you by the back of the collar and throws you into the water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you you have to learn that before you just go and drown.
Luckily, it was at the lake, so it wasn't too deep. I think the part where he threw me in was only 12 feet deep, but it wasn't too far from the shore. I just held my breath until I walked over to the edge and pulled myself out. I'm still not letting him live that down. That's son
my dad had a really good way of teaching us how to swim, and we kind of went to like this public pool, and he would just get into the water with us, hold us, and then and teach us how to doggy paddle, and then just kept moving backwards in circles around the pool, and we were trying to get to him so we can rest. You know what I mean? But he would just keep moving back slowly. It worked. It was like one day it was good, and me and my brother and my little sister learned how to swim.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I think that's a pretty uplifting note to end this hour-long weekday show. Thank you, everybody, for coming along. Thank you specifically, Dillard, for showing up, since you're less obligated to be here than the normal hosts, the normal hosts and stuff. So, and obviously, Marsupial, I'm thankful that.
See, I wasn't even that interactive in this show because I was like, oh yeah, I better pace myself because this is like a 3-hour show.
No.
fading.
The weekday show is only an hour.
John is about to like fade into just blackness in his
Yeah.
cave there.
What's happening? Oh, I should probably open the window, huh? Let me see.
Yeah.
There we go. How's that? Is that better?
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm. But we will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 8 o'clock Central, or whatever it is where you are. If you want to support the show, you know where to look. Make sure you like us or whatever you do on your platform. We'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.